Hi there, how are you? This is Bridget from Divine Essentials. I figured I should start introducing myself so people know who I am. Tonight I decided I was going to do a reading for the collective. This will probably resonate with anybody who identifies with the term Starseed, Lightworker, Empath. That is my intention. And some stuff has been coming up through the collective, a lot of repetitive things, so I just wanted to touch in real quick because I know that the collective receives energy, and I also did some channeling earlier tonight for this. There's an event that I do here called Pleiadian Channeling and Healing, but when I connect with the Pleiadians, they bring in messages from the different star nations, and tonight a lot of the messages that came forth were from the Sirian collective. And for those of you who do not know, the Sirians are primarily a water-based area. Well, the ones I communicate with, there's multiple. So the star Sirius is considered the dog star. Sirius has Sirius A and Sirius B, where it is. And if you look into the Dogon tribe of Africa, this information was actually written on the rock walls of their caves. You know, years and years ago, they had the elliptical pattern of Sirius A and Sirius B far long before we had telescopes. And when you ask them where they received this information, they say that it was from the fish people. And if you look at the depictions of the fish people, it appears similar to what a dolphin would look like. And the dolphin consciousness comes from Sirius as well. Now, Sirius has a few different places of existence or creation, and the way that they manifest and the way that I tune into them and see them is there's a primarily water place, but there's, also places where it's almost like Earth, where there's a collective of different energies and frequencies that are represented in things that I would identify as, like a fairy realm or dolphins, or mermaids. Then there's the half feline, half humanoid type of beings, which also come from Lyra. And the Lyrans are our ancient ancestors, which also are depicted a lot in the ancient Egyptian culture, as well as the Sirians. The Sirian energy, Isis, is considered in the, if the Great Pyramid of Giza, there's two chambers there that lead, these shafts that lead out. And one aligns to Orion, which was depicted as Osiris in their culture, and the other leads to Sirius, which is actually Isis. So there's a lot of connections with the ancients to the stars. There's a lot of connections that have been actually recorded on Earth to the stars. And I found out a lot of this through channeling and through my own research, because when the information came in, my logical mind wanted to have, backup of it. I was like, alright, let me see if this makes any sense, or if anybody else in this huge world had found out parts of it, and things always got confirmed for me. And so the messages that came through tonight from the Sirians were very connected to the water and to Mama Cocha. And Mama Cocha is considered the healer of waters. It's like the goddess of waters, of all the sea life and all the sea creatures. But that energy was coming forth very strong because it's like crying out for assistance, because the waters here are being abused. They're being neglected. Now, it's also a false reality because it's a manifestation of what we're doing as humans, or as a collective. We're well aware of what we're doing, but we push it to the back of our mind. We don't think about it. When the whales wash up on the shore, and the whales, by the way, are connected to the Sirian collective as well, and the whales bring wisdom. But when a whale washes up on shore, people gather around it, the scientists come, and they open it up, and they conclude that it died because of us. And instead of anybody really and I know that there are people out there doing stuff about it, but the majority of people who see it push it to the back of their mind. They don't want to see it. They don't want to know about it. They don't want to face it. And what they don't want to face is their part in it. And I get it. because I'm a part of you guys. I do the same thing. You know, I would much rather unfollow everything on Facebook that has something to do with somebody being hurt or something that I don't want to see. But as light workers, I think a lot of people get caught up in the like, let's just focus on the good stuff. Let's just focus on light. And that's fine and dandy. That's partly what your mission is to focus on the light, to focus on the good in everything, but to recognize the darkness and to set intention to shift it. The most powerful thing that we have is our consciousness and our intention. And, you know, people get caught up in these things. And even if you just take 5 minutes out of your time to focus on shifting the collective consciousness that surrounds the way the earth is being manifested, the way the waters are, the way that the animals inside of the water are, you know, start envisioning water that is not being polluted, that isn't full of nuclear radiation, stuff like the oil spills and things like that, and like the fact that in Alaska they're running out of places for the polar bears to exist, and there's animals all over the earth being neglected and hurt and harmed as a result of greed and as a result of ego by the humans. And so when we bring your attention to this, and the collectives bring your attention to this, it's not to make you feel bad. It's not to bring down your vibration. It's to collectively come together and shift what we're seeing here. Shift the focus not away from it, but shift the focus into one of manifesting a world where others' focus comes to it collectively and shifts it, and shifts what's creating it. Because it is us, with our pollution, with our need, with our desire to have more, to build more, to create more. And we're creating out of darkness. We're not creating out of love. Because when we create out of love, we're fulfilled with simple things. Go back to being a child. Tap into that inner child when it was called the imagination. And use your imagination to bring forth a shift collectively. Share this information with others. Tell other people about their energy, about their consciousness, about the power that they have to create. You know, all these people want to use the power of attraction, but they want to use it for their self. And again, I am part of that. You know, there's times where it's like a very selfish thing, where it's like, I need to manifest this so that I can do that. And I get it. That's something that we want to do, is manifest for ourselves. I don't see any harm in wanting to manifest for ourselves, but we also should be manifesting beyond self. We should be manifesting with the intention to heal the earth. And I did pull cards tonight. Well, I put cards out, and when I was shuffling the decks, I have them spiraled out because my arm is still very sore and shuffling is difficult. So I didn't want to be on camera shuffling and struggling in front of y'all. So I decided to shuffle ahead of time and then just pull from the decks. But while I was shuffling, cards came out. And the first deck that I even picked up was the Gaia Oracle, which seems fitting for what we're talking about. And the card that came out seems very fitting for what we're talking about. It's Moonlight, Travel, Romance, Potential. So let me move this deck out of the way because this one's a really big one, and I'll pull the card out that's there. So the moonlight in itself was very connected to the energy right now. We have the Taurus moon, which is still considered the full moon energy. And with it, we have travel, romance, and potential. Now, I'm going to read the potential first, because we have the potential inside of us to shift the energy. We have the potential inside of us to ride these energies, to use these energies. And the Taurus moon is a very earthy energy. Taurus is an earth sign. It's a fixed sign. It is steadfast. It moves forward. It doesn't give up. And so I want you to go inside of yourself and think about the things that you don't want to give up. about this earth. I mean, do you want to live on an earth where you can't go into the ocean? Do you want to live on an earth where the ocean does not look pretty at all? Do you want to live on an earth where there are no whales or dolphins or fish? And for me, like, I don't even eat fish. I can't eat things out of the sea. And I feel, because I know what we're putting into it is part of it, but I also feel like I've had a lifetime in the ocean. And I know at one point when I was, my very first memory, my very first dream was of Atlantis. And it was at the fall, and I was in the water, and I was swimming, and I could see that everybody had died, like, in their homes. There was just, it was horrible. And lately, I've been having, like, premonitions or energy connected to the ocean, and I see the ocean washing over the earth again and cleansing it. But I also see a timeline that we can create where that doesn't happen. That is a result of us manipulating power. We fight, and we have war, and we have separation and illusion, and we go into a place of greed, or we act out of ego because somebody did something we didn't like. And a lot of the times they didn't even do anything. We just believe that somebody did something, and it was created by somebody else to be put into our consciousness to assist in keeping that separation or that illusion. But we have potential to shift that and change that. And the number is 36. So I would add that up to 9. And the 9 is a new beginning. It's the ending and the new beginning. And it's the ending of feeling separate from the potential that we have inside of ourselves. And it's that new beginning of tapping into the potential to create, to manifest, to not give up in the face of darkness, to bring light to the darkness and watch it shift. And sharing that message with others. And the bottom of the deck is evolution, which is number 45. So we'd add that up again to 9. And evolution talks about earth changes, climate change, and transformation. So I do feel like there's going to be a lot of earth changes coming. Even in my area, like where I live, like, I don't watch the news, I don't watch TV, I don't watch the media. All of the media is repetitive. Like, you can watch, like, videos now created of a loop or a stream of different news stations, and they're all repeating the same thing over and over and over and over because they're all owned by the same companies. And they are all given the same thing to say. And it's all focused on darkness and illusion and separation. And it brings your vibration down when you tune into it. And, I struggle back and forth between wanting to become informed about stuff, but I also don't want to be manipulated or, tricked or fallen into the category of a sheep, which goes along with the flock. And that's a fine line. But there are ways for us to stay informed. I get a lot of information through channeling. And we can all channel. We are all tuned into this light. And if you're watching this, you're tuned into the light. You can receive your own information and downloads. You don't need to buy into the false information that is being, like, spit out and repeated over and over and over through different people. I mean, it's all a construct anyway. I mean, even the number sequences and synchronicities. Like, right now, 1 and 4 is a big one. 12, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or the 2s. And it's like, they shift all the time. Like, last week, there was a lot of 5, 5, 5s. But today I saw 1s and 4s a lot, especially together. And then I saw a lot of 12s, or a lot of, like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now they hold different meanings, but again, it's repetitive information that is going into your consciousness. And it's informing you You know, it is synchronicity. It is bringing you, it is like showing you that, yes, you're on the path, you're following, you know, this is for you. Like when I scan through Facebook or something and I see a post that has, you know, 555 this or 1, 2, 3, 4 that, I tune into it and I recognize that, like, that is a message for me. And those are usually the ones that I share or will save for myself or will share at a later time. But there's always a meaning behind it for me, like a deeper meaning behind the things that I share. I don't just like find stuff and be like, here, let me share this. Like it has to resonate on a core level. But anyways, that is the difference between like being programmed by the society and what they want you to think. And by they, I mean the people who own those companies. And the people who own those companies also own about just a majority of everything else. And they control a majority of everything else. But now things are changing and shifting. Collective consciousness is changing and shifting. We have this new potential coming in. We have these new codings coming in. The light workers are going through an evolution. We're receiving more downloads. We're receiving more information. We're awakening to deeper levels. And there's gonna be shifting on the earth. I do feel like that wave that I've been seeing, we get to dictate how big it is and how much of an impact it makes, because there are multiple timelines, and just by having our awareness brought to it is going to assist us in understanding like the gravity of what's coming. And for the earth changes and like the climate change, this is a real thing that is happening here, but it is happening once again through our collective consciousness and focusing on it. We can focus it and shift it into a different way. But I do feel like there are going to be things on the earth, like there are going to be waves, there are going to be like a shifting of the plates, there's going to be a shifting collectively, like the whole earth is shifting, like the moon is shifting. At the new moon time, I had taken out my camera to take a quick picture of it, and I realized that it was shifting colors and it was changing and it was pulsing. And I've never seen the moon do that. You know, I've taken pictures of stars that do that, that change color and they pulsate and they grow and whatever, but I'd never seen the moon do it. So I recorded it, and I might actually put it onto here. I might, you know, like clip it onto the end of this video, because I want other people to see it. And at first, I was like, oh, maybe I'm just, like, stoned out of my sneakers. Like, I kind of was trying to dismiss it. But then I saw that somebody else had posted, like, a video of it, and how they had noticed that it was different. And other people are noticing the shift with the moon in itself. Like, it's not on the same pattern. It's not coming through the same places that it should. Like, I go and I look for the moon, and it's in a different place now. And you know, there's other things happening. Like the white dragon thing is happening. So the other day, you know, I've been struggling with this pain. I've got this pain in my back that it's been a week now. It's been 7 days. And it started in my neck and it went down into my back. Somebody pulled out a dagger. It went back in under my arm. It shoots down my right arm. Sometimes my right arm is numb. Sometimes my right thumb is numb. And it also shoots down my left leg. And I have like numbness down that side. And then tonight, after, during channeling, I had no pain at all. And then a few hours later, it started to come back, but I put my hand on my chest, and on the right side, like right where my shoulder meets my chest, like that little indent, is very, very tender and painful to the touch. So I don't know, like, I feel like it is connected to collective stuff. I feel like it's connected to my own stuff. I do feel like there's a transformation happening, and we need to be, like, shifting whatever is happening around us. We got to use the potential inside of us to change and transform, and to, like, tune into these things that are happening with our body, that are happening with the earth, tuning in and realizing, like even the, that was, I was going to say too, the other day we had, like a tornado right near where I live, and we don't have that happen here. That's not a regular occurrence. I'm in Massachusetts. And it's showing us that things are changing and transforming. But because they're changing and transforming, that can show you that you can change and transform it into a different way. So just because, you know, earthquakes are predicted, or like the Titanic, I can't say it, the plates are moving. we don't have to, go to a place of doom. We don't have to go to a place of like, oh, everything's going to fall apart and the world's going to fall apart. We can look at it this time of transformation as these things shift and as these things change. We can use that potential that we have to dream into being like good, we can manifest things shifting instead of being harmful. And it's also a result of us and our collective intention and our actions and what we do on the planet and what we do to one another and what we do to ourselves and what we think about ourselves and how we take care of ourselves and tune into the parts of our body that aren't feeling well. Tuning into like the thoughts that we think that, manifest as darkness and using the potential inside of us to transform it. So I hope this is making sense because I am tired and I am delivering. Like, I feel like there's just so many things that need to be said right now. So I am going to shuffle these a little bit because it's just easier and things are falling out. Oh goodness. Alright, so we have Enchanted Forest, which is number 27, which adds up to 9. So again, we have that ending and new beginning energy, and we have the moon here. So this whole moon is bringing us to a place of endings and new beginnings. So we also are having like karmic stuff come up. And I know it seems like this is said a lot, like, oh, things that you thought you were done with are coming back up to be faced. But it's true. Like, anything traumatic that you've been through, anything that's hurt you or like hasn't felt good is gonna be coming up to the surface for you to kind of look at it and be like, all right, let me see what this is connected to. Let me see like how I can shift this. It could be manifesting on you in different ways, like physically, like how I have this pain in my body. I do feel like it's connected to stuff like emotions that I've repressed or feelings I've repressed or things that I've felt that I haven't been able to release or things that I do that I know aren't good for me that I need to shift, like, certain foods and certain people and certain behaviors and certain thoughts. It's like we're constantly transforming. We're constantly on this search. We have the search here, feeling lost, confused, and lonely. So I do feel like a lot of people are feeling this. A lot of people are having like that dark side come up. The shadow is coming up. That dark side of the moon energy is coming up. It's that unconscious stuff. It's those like insecurities. It's fears. It's like thinking the worst of something when it's really nothing. I feel like men and women are, going to this place of like doom and gloom, like me bringing up the earth changes or me talking about waves. Like I can feel certain people go into that place of fear, like, oh no, when's it gonna happen or what's gonna happen, but that's the issue, that's the problem, that's what needs to be transformed. And then beyond that is how we're treating the planet, how we're treating ourselves, and it's all connected. And it's a matter of where you start. You have to start somewhere. You have to stop searching for the answer and realize that the answer is inside of you. If you're feeling lost, if you're feeling confused, if you're feeling lonely, you shouldn't feel those things, okay? You should never feel lonely because you are never truly alone. Your I am presence is connected to you. The emissaries, like the light, the whatever you want to call it. If you want to call them angels and archangels, if you want to call, ascended masters, if you want to talk to, like, ascended awareness or consciousness or your own, like, if you can believe in the voice in your head, then start there and start talking to that voice in your head and start realizing that that is your connection. That is that big booming voice outside of you that's going to deliver the messages and guidance. And when you're in alignment, it's trusting that voice. Think about all the times that little voice in the back of your head told you something and you didn't listen, and then you were like, why did I do that? There's no reason to feel confused. There's no reason to feel lost or lonely. If you're in alignment and listening to that inner voice, and if you're in alignment and listening to your heart, we have a lot of heart energy coming up with this moon as well. When you listen to your heart, you shouldn't feel like you're searching for anything or feeling lost or confused. You shouldn't feel lonely. You should be, in alignment with the unconditional love for yourself. If you can't love yourself unconditionally, if you can't feel whole and good and like, I know what I'm doing and I'm supported and I'm an amazing person and everything that I desire, need, and want comes to me easily, then you're gonna be on a search that you're never gonna find what you're looking for. The answers all come from inside. And the answers they come from inside, but they're so much bigger than you. It's bigger than, the guy that you like. It's bigger than the house that you want. It's bigger than the car that you had your eye on. It's bigger than those fancy this or the fancy that. It's bigger than anything you can really think of in a 3D sense. You're here to bring in light. You're here to bring in a new elevated consciousness. You're here for the mystery and the magic. You're here for excitement, because this is exciting. This is something that, we signed up to do this. And there was so many signing up to do this because so many wanted to come to Earth to experience it, because it's not like anything out there. Earth is like a living library of the stuff. And there are other libraries out there. Sirius has its own library with its own stuff, but it's an elevated consciousness. There's more of a frequency. It's a higher light. They don't have this duality bullshit. We don't have the dark. We don't have the stuff that everybody is always feeling confused, lost, and lonely or a victim of. But the only reason we're a victim of it is because we're not illuminating ourselves, and we're not getting excited about the opportunities to illuminate those darkness, to illuminate the moments of feeling lost or alone. Tuning into your heart is going to shift and bring forth that new beginning, and using that conscious awareness inside of you to tune in and shift the things that don't feel right about the earth. And on the bottom of the deck we have the dream, and it's number 4. And 4s and the 1s are big for me today. I've been seeing them nonstop. 4 does connect to foundation. This is also another pattern or energy or frequency that is going to come in and program your consciousness. But it's funny, it's connected with the dream. And again, we see the moon. And it says the dream, something is revealed, insight and breakthrough. So I do resonate with this a lot. The other night I woke up, I was having a very vivid dream connected to the last moments my mom was here. And so I relived watching her die. And that was very traumatic. And for the past few days I've been thinking about it. And every time I think about it, I bawl my eyes out. But I know I'm releasing and I'm healing and I'm shifting. And that dream did bring through a breakthrough. Something was revealed to me. I found out some insight. I was like, oh, that's why I'm such a hot mess right now. Because I haven't finished processing my grief. And I think part of that was because I was allowing others to dictate to me through societal conditioning or through expectations or for false beliefs, or through feeling that surge of being lonely, confused, and lost, and not really understanding, there's no time limit. And it's funny that this card is number 6, because it's been 6 months since I was in the flow of doing my work like this. And I have been doing my work all along. I've been seeing people for sessions, I've been doing readings, I've been channeling, I've been doing this, all that, and the other thing. But before 6 months ago, this was all I was doing, and I was starting to accelerate into a flow, and I was getting all right, this is what I'm gonna do, and I had all these big plans and ideas, and then it was all right, I gotta pack up my house and I gotta start moving. And that was okay, because I was going to keep the flow going. I was going to bring it to this new place and expand upon it and connect with community. And, it was going to be a time of celebration and expansion, and it was going to feel awesome. And then my mom got sick. And so the move became torture. I still have stuff in boxes. My studio is still not complete, and I'm not that type of person. I would usually have everything unpacked, looking beautiful, having that room all done, but I haven't, because through the loss of her, I lost a lot of things about myself, but it wasn't a loss, it was a gain. And so I am having these breakthroughs and these insights. And some of it's good and some of it's not so good. But that's what this whole experience is about on this planet, is tuning into the duality and recognizing the dark and the light. and recognizing where your focus needs to be. It's funny because the next one is perception, beyond the veil of illusion. So when we start looking beyond the veil of illusion, when we start looking deeper into things, when we look back over the timeline, and time is an illusion, everything is existing in this now moment. So honestly, my consciousness could tune back into 6 months ago and rewrite that story. And instead of allowing, my mom's sickness to bring me into a loop of like everything in my world kind of feeling crazy, I can reshift and look at all the good that happened, all the things that resulted from that. I did lose a lot of people. So feeling lonely has been something I resonate with, is like every person that I talk to on a regular basis, every person that I considered to be like a good friend, or people that I like really resonated with. And I mean, not all of them. I don't like saying that because I feel bad that because I know there's other people out there that I still connect with. But there's a lot of people that were all gone at the same time. And it was after my mom passed. So I'm looking beyond the veil into that, and I'm looking at it and realizing like, okay, those people obviously aren't people that I want in my life. Not one of them really showed up in a way that complete strangers did. I had complete strangers show up in ways that felt more compassionate and more loving than people I had known for years, people I had spent time, giving my energy to, assisting them when they lost people, assisting them with their business and their career, and always supporting them and applauding them, and, being happy or joyful for their victories. And when I started having my own victories, I started losing them. So as I look through that veil of illusion of being like, oh my God, victim, 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 I'm looking at it and realizing like that was a breakthrough. That was a lot. And there was others too that I didn't have boundaries with. There was people showing up that were just like using and manipulating and trying to make me do things I didn't want to do through manipulation. And so, again, I was able to have that breakthrough and that insight of realizing, like, now that I have firm boundaries, I'm not seeing so much of the people who weren't honoring those boundaries, So there's always a shift for a reason. We lose for a reason. There's light in the dark. There's duality on this planet. And when you start looking beyond the veil, when you start looking beyond illusion, when you start using your wisdom, the ancient eyes, when you look through the heart of your soul, you start to realize like everything is bringing you into alignment. And yeah, there's stuff inside of you that you have to heal. That was something too. It wasn't like I, had that horrible dream and was like, oh, everything's amazing and I'm so happy. But I'm able to look at the good stuff that resulted out of these 6 months. That this new foundation that I'm laying is a foundation of one where I will have boundaries, where I will have expectations, where I'm not going to be looking through illusion of, let me just give to this person because I want them in my life. Let me just put down everything that makes me feel good and sacrifice. It's raising up the bar for yourself. And it's speaking into existence, dreaming into existence, a new reality for you and for Gaia, for the earth, for the collective. Because what your little existence is gonna be very short-lived if you don't look beyond the veil, if you don't look beyond yourself, if you don't look into the deeper meanings and receive the insight and have the breakthroughs and realize that you're never alone, and you tap into this mystery and this magic that's all around you, and you start using that potential inside of you to create. Tune into the cycles of the moon. Use that energy to manifest, and stop manifesting for yourself. Manifest for collective. Manifest for society. Manifest for the earth, for the animals, for the ocean. Come from a place of, love. Come from a place of compassion. Give a shit for something beyond yourself. Stop feeding your ego. Like even that perception too, for me, coming here has shifted that a lot for me. Like when I would do my events, I would feel obligated to put on clothes and makeup and, certain shoes and things. And half the time when I got to the place I was going, I'd have to take off my shoes, and then I would sit there in an uncomfortable way with tight jeans, or, you know, uncomfortable this or uncomfortable that, or like fixing my shirt the whole time. And now living here and having the studio in my home, it's like, I told a person 2 weeks ago, I was like, you know what, just show up in your pajamas, we're gonna relax, because I was teaching the new paradigm for 2 days. And it's just 2 days of like activations and meditations and, you know, going through the manual. So I was like, you know what, let's be comfortable. And then today, this morning, I'm still experiencing all this pain. And I knew I had people coming tonight for the channeling. And I wanted to be comfortable, and I was having cramps. And I was like, you know what, putting on pajama pants. And so I put on a shirt that matched my pajama pants and my old grandma sweater. And I wore my booty slippers, which I'm still wearing right now. And I was like, I don't care. And it was funny because when I said something about it, the girl that had just come for the first time had said she was so happy to see my outfit because it meant that the next time she came, she could wear her pajamas and be comfortable. And that's what I'm trying to do now. Like, I'm trying to bring non-judgment, non-expectation to everything. I don't care what you wear. I don't care what you eat. I don't care what you drink. I don't care about that stuff. What I care about is who you are underneath that stuff. If you're comfortable showing up in your pajamas, then do it. If you're comfortable, you know, having a big chocolate shake, do it. If you're comfortable, you know, smoking weed, do it. If you're comfortable smoking cigarettes, do it. If you're comfortable drinking, do it. But that's you. I'm not going to ever judge you for the things that you do. I think when you start looking through the illusion, and when you start having the breakthroughs, and you start tapping into the mystery that's around you and the potential that's inside of you, and you stop feeling lonely and you stop feeling the isolation, you won't want to do those things anymore. You'll want to transform for yourself. We have thinking of you, a loving thought, serendipity, and it's number 29. So again, this is what it's all about. You need to start thinking of you, and you need to start transforming. And if we add up to 29, it's number 11. And the 11s have been coming through a lot. Like last night I was driving behind a license plate that was 1111. I saw 1111 twice today, like on the phone. I saw it show up on many different things. So the 1111 is coming in, and that is like, that's an awakening number. It's also a coding. It's like one of the very major basic codes that we get. You know, like when people have connections with, like, even like people who have said that they were abducted or connected with them, a lot of times they have like the repetitive number, like 111-011-011-011-011, and that is coding. It's actually coding that we use here now, because the numbers are universal. They are imprints. They are energy and frequency. But that number has been coming through, and it's awakening us to this deeper level. You have to start thinking about you with love, and how you want to treat yourself. And how you treat yourself is going to be a reflection of how you treat others, and it's going to be a reflection of how you ripple out into the collective, and how the collective ripples back towards you. So if you want to create new earth, you want to create new you. If you want to create an ocean of eternal love, you need to heal. You need to tune into that fertile energy inside of you, into the creativity inside of you. And this is number 44. You need to have a solid foundation of love. Eternal love, unconditional love. You don't want to have love. Like, when I say about treating yourself right, like, I don't mean a chocolate shake. What I mean is how you feel about you. How are you dealing with you? Are you okay with who you are? Are you okay with your intentions and your energy and what you're doing to your body and how you're treating the earth? That's what I mean when I say that. In the bottom deck, this is gonna be the last one from this deck, is number 42. And it's Sacred Earth Mother, a message of love. Okay? So again, this Taurus moon is all about opening up your heart. It's all about recognizing the synchronicity. It's all about recognizing that eternal love inside of you and rippling out through the oceans, rippling out through the water that exists inside of your body. You know, there's been tests, there's been scientific proof that when you communicate with water and you freeze it, it shows what you put into it for intention and energy. But that's also a result of our collective consciousness, and it ripples through everything. Literally every thought that you think has so much power. So when you start thinking in alignment with a message of love, everything begins to shift. You know, it's very easy for us to spiral down into darkness and to get stuck there and to feel separate and isolated and alone and to feel hopeless and to feel like this person doesn't love me and that's not ever going to happen and I don't have this and I don't have that and I don't look like that and I want to have that and da 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 da. And all of that is a result of programming that has been instilled into you from society, from beliefs that have been passed down from people from generations and generations and generations ago. So you could be having abundance blocks due to somebody in your family thinking that money is the root of all evil. You could have an abundance block to love because somebody in the past believed that love was not real, that there was never going to be true love. You could have, like if you're a man, you could believe that all women are the same because that is something somebody passed down to you. And we also receive this from our parents, the things that our parents taught us as children. When we're born, we don't know fear. Children will walk out of a window. Children will jump. You know, they have no fear. When they're born, there's no fears. Everything that they fear comes as a result of society, and what they see, and what they're told, and what we tell them to believe. And everybody who's born is tuned in, turned on to the magic of life. My niece is 2 years old and she sees more than most of the adults that I know. She's so intuitive. She picks up on so much because she's coming from love. She's not coming from illusion and separation and darkness. She hasn't, and actually she has. You know, I have seen the conditioning already put into her. You know, as a result of conditioning that was put into either her mother or to my mother or to people that have come before her or even society. When she walks through the store with her mother, she apologizes to everybody because she thinks that's what you're supposed to do, because often my sister would apologize for like being in the way or whatever. And so now when people walk by her, she says sorry. So that's a part of conditioning. That's a conditioned belief that she picked up from repetitive sequence, from repetitive things that have been shown to her. So all of the repetitive things that have been shown to us, all of the commercials that have been shown to us, all of the things that have been shown to us or told to us, you know, like, oh, if you do that, you're lazy. Oh, if you do that, you're not good enough. Oh, you got to work 80 hours a week to make yourself feel good about yourself. You got to have this in order for people to like you. You got to keep having more money, more money, more money, more money. You can't die with it. What if you died tomorrow? What was your life filled with? Was it filled with working? Was it filled with, you know, searching for the next best thing? Was it filled with meaningless love? You know, was it filled with darkness? Was it filled with illusion? Was it filled with fear of taking the next step? Was it filled with fear of moving on from something? That isn't what we want in this world. And this Taurus moon is bringing that up. It's bringing up that energy of love, of grounding that love. You know, it isn't something ethereal and outside of this 3D existence that we dwell inside of. And if you want to dwell outside of the 3D existence, you simply set the intention to do so and you rise. But you do it through love. You do it through shifting your consciousness. And it's funny because this number 42 adds up to 6, and 6 is that vibration of love. So we need to shift the vibration into that of love. It doesn't have to be love for somebody else. It has to be love for you. It starts with you. And as soon as you love yourself, you default and love everybody else because we are all one. And if you can love you unconditionally, then you should be able to love others unconditionally. If you can truly love without conditions, then you won't have a problem loving others and the things that they do, the things that they have, and the things that they don't have. You will love them regardless of their mistakes, regardless of what they've done wrong. If they've hurt you, you will love them through it. That's what it's about. It's about shifting the consciousness. It's about shifting the vibration and rising up above the energy of separation, illusion, darkness, and hate, and fear, and this isn't this, and blah, 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 and buying into collective bullshit and society conditioning and telling you what to like and what not to like and how to look and how to dress. It's rising above that into a new foundation. And so the bottom of the deck from this one was the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is connected to the emotions. And the aces are connected to new beginnings, and 4444 just went by on the clock. So we're getting confirmation of this foundation, of this new beginning in connection with our emotions. And the emotions are in connection with the water. So once again, Mama Cocha is coming through, and I'm seeing that energy of Mama Cocha right here with the M. So Mama Cocha is that goddess of the water. She's the goddess of all the creatures in the water. So that is and again, that is a way for me to express to you somebody to tune into, or some belief to hold on to, because in this reality people need a belief. They need something to think of or to equate things to in order for them to start shifting their consciousness. When you rise into this place of unconditional love, and when you rise into the place of recognizing beyond the veil, you won't need those things as much, but you also can recognize that Mama Cocha exists because we set our intention for her to exist. Just like every thought you've ever thought exists somewhere. Everything that we've ever created exists somewhere. There is no separation. It's an illusion for us to look at things as linear. Somebody made up the concept of time and we all believed it. Somebody made up the concept of physical reality, we all believe it. Somebody made up this and we all believe. It's just, everything has come from belief, but it comes through consciousness. And you have to believe right now that this is a new beginning to tune into your emotions and to heal. To tune into the water inside of your body and to start begin talking to it in a way that is serving of it. You know, write the word I love you on you. Write the word gratitude on you. Tell your body what you're thankful for. Thank your eyes for allowing you to see. Thank your ears for assisting you in hearing. Thank your mouth for forming words for you to speak. Thank your throat for breathing the air. Thank your lungs for breathing the air. Thank your heart for beating another day. Thank your belly for processing the food that you eat. And thank your legs for carrying you on your journey. Think about your life without one of those things and what it would be like. Would you even be able to live without one of those things? It depends on what it is. So you want to have gratitude for it, for the collective energy of it, for the consciousness of it. Your heart has consciousness and energy that surrounds you, and it ripples out. And so do you want to be rippling out from a place of darkness and illusion and ego and separation and, oh, you're not cool because you don't have that, nope, you're not cool because you don't look like that, oh, you're not cool because you can't afford this? No, you want to be in a place of unconditional love. You want to love people regardless of what they have or what they can do for you. When you go into that place, it's not a good place. So we need to really focus on this foundation of tuning into the emotions, tuning into that energy of Mama Cocha as well, and healing. Like, the water is a big thing right now. We really need to focus our intention on healing the water. I don't want people to focus on the intention of, like, the water is going to wash over us and kill us. I want you to focus on the intention that we heal the water, we heal the energy of the planet, and anything that happens like outside of us happens as a result of our collective consciousness coming together to create love and to create good instead of separation. And we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is connected with the energy of Taurus. And again, Taurus is that full moon that we have right now. Taurus is very grounded. It's very earthy. It's very, like, determined, very stubborn energy. And it's slow. It's very slow energy. It's going to feel like, oh my God, just move. But it does move. And it moves with, like, a sense of groundedness and, like, moving forth with a deep understanding of what's moving forward. Taurus has a very devoted energy as well. Taurus will not turn away from you. Taurus will not ever, hurt you or harm you intentionally. It takes a lot, like a lot, for Taurus to turn away. It takes a lot for Taurus to give up on somebody or something. They just can't do it. They just can't give up. And even when they do give up and walk away from certain people or things, they usually give it another chance down the road. So that type of energy is here. And with the with the Venus retrograde and that energy, emotions could be all over the place. And I feel like that is, again, why this message of love is coming through. If anybody has been having heartache come up, or things come up in connection to like karmic partners or people of the past, emotions, relationships that, you know, maybe not ended so well, or people that you've had in the back of your mind, you may be feeling a call or a pull to connect with them. You may be feeling a call or a pull to reconcile with people. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be friends. It can be family. But that energy is here, and it is persistent because it is connected to Taurus. Taurus doesn't give up on things. So you could be having a lot of like karmic stuff coming up as well, like, and again, the stuff coming up surrounding things that we've experienced that were traumatic. It's coming up to be healed, and Taurus has got the determination and the strength to look at it and to move through it and to understand it, you know, to dive in and to really like understand the spiritual aspects of it, the mental aspects of it, the physical aspects of it, and the emotional aspects of it. You know, they're not going to leave any part of it uncovered. That's not what Taurus does. Taurus goes deep in and finds all of the connections. And if they don't find all of the connections, they continue to search until they do. And if they can't, that is when they, you know, walk away from it. But honestly, a lot of times they walk away and they come right back because there's such a strong, determined will inside of there to figure it out. So that energy is here right now. So you may be feeling like in 1 minute you're like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm not going to look at it anymore. And then the next minute you're right back to it. You may be finding yourself being pulled to, you know, look up people of the past, or to look into things, you know, surrounding those that you've had karmic relationships with, or people that have hurt you, or people you have hurt. You may be wanting to, you know, reconcile or say I'm sorry, or, you know, at least put it out into the universe, you know, at least take your part. I feel like we're taking our part into things that weren't so good. You know, in the past, people, you know, anything in the past that people had like swept under the rug or didn't want to look at their part in it, or they were like, you know what, I am a victim, and that was the end of it. I feel like stuff's coming up now for a deeper look, and for us to be like, okay, I own this, I recognize this, I'm going to process it, I'm going to shift it, and I'm going to evolve, and I'm going to rise out of this, and I'm not going to do that again, and I'm going to set the intention to heal or rewrite that story so that it can, you know, manifest in a more loving, centered way. So that energy is coming through too right now for the collective. Let's see what else comes through. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Pentacles is also connected with the earth. And the Pentacles can be connected with finance, your money, but it can also be connected with your worth. And if you look at the picture there, you know, the Pentacles are up in the window. It's almost like a church or something, where it's like a stained glass window, but the Pentacles are up in the window, and these two poor people are down here struggling and walking by. And so I feel like people are feeling that way right now, where they're feeling like lack. They're looking at like the problems. They may be having physical pain. It's a very physical energy right now. It's going to be manifesting in physical ways. Like, you may be having headaches. I've been waking up with headaches. I've been getting like weird sensations over my body at different points. You know, I got physical pain throughout my body right now, which I know is connected to different things. You know, I'm working through it and processing it, and I process in different ways. And that's something for you too. Like, if you know you have something inside of you that's being manifested in the physical that is harming you, you know, look at it and ask what it's connected to, and then release it in a way that is suiting for you. You know, some people want to scream, some people want to punch, some people want to write, some people want to speak, some people want to just cry, some people need to take a hot bath. It just depends on who you are and how you process. Like earlier tonight, you know, I knew this stuff was coming up with my mom, and I was like, these words just started flowing into my head, so I started writing them down, and then I wrote a poem, and I was able to cry and release in that way. I was able to channel it out through the words, and I was able to release it through my tears. And it's funny, because it was after I wrote that I realized that I had this pain in the cuff of my arm. So I'm hoping that it's coming out of my body and like starting to manifest in a different spot so that I can kind of like release it. And I know it's connected to other things, but That is part of it. So if you're having physical pain, if you're having stuff show up physical, like ringing in the ears, that's another big one. I've been having ringing in my ears when I'm downloading and bringing in information, and some of the number patterns are actually inciting that ringing in the ears, or certain words are making the ringing in the ears. So it's really about being aware. It's about looking through that veil. It's about tuning into your energy in your body and being aware of what's happening in your mind or what's happening around you and what's triggering these experiences in the physical. If you're having back pain, your upper back is connected to feeling a lack of support. And as a result of like losing a lot of the friends that I had, the people who I considered to be spirit moms or best friends, losing all those people, and like even a romantic thing that I was clinging on to for well over a year. After losing all of that and recognizing that there was, nothing being returned, my back pain in the upper back is a result of the loss of support, or feeling a lack of support, feeling like there's nobody out there that really like cares. And I know there is. I have people out there who do care, but when you lose a large amount of people who you thought cared, it can result in you feeling a lack of support. And you can also have this happening as a result of your own consciousness and not supporting yourself enough, which brings us back to figuring out what we're doing, what patterns are we bringing forth in the physical that is keeping us in this cycle of lack, or this cycle of feeling like we're on the outside, like the pentacles are up there and we're down here and we're suffering, or by, let me just walk by it and not even pay attention to it, because this is also connected to your worth. You're worthy of healing. You're worthy of the pentacles. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of all the things that you feel separated from, or not supported by, or not a part of. You are worthy of this. This love is there for you, but you have to incite this love. You have to ignite it inside of you. You have to be the one that makes the conscious decision to live in a vibration of love for yourself, so that others can ripple that back to you. If you're living in this world of isolation and separation, it doesn't matter who shows up around you, because you're not gonna see it. You can have people like at your front door, knocking at the door to come in and give you something and to support you. But if you're not feeling it for yourself, you're not going to answer the door. So this is message that's coming through right now too. It's time to see the worth that you have. This is about transition as well, because it's the 5. We need to transition this and feel more supported by the love for ourselves. And we have to look at all of the pentacles that we have in our lives so that we can start moving forward, and utilizing this Hierophant energy. The Hierophant moves, it brings a lot of wisdom and like groundedness and connectedness. We are at this time of new beginnings with our emotions. So start filling up the cup from inside. Start feeling the love from inside and rippling that out around you. And the next one is the 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups, it's the 6 of Cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of Cups. So the 6 of Cups is about others making an offer to you of love. So this could be romantically based. When I see this one, I do usually feel like it's a romantic thing. Like if you are in a dynamic with a man or a woman, it doesn't matter who it is. They may be getting ready to make an offer to you of love. You may be getting communication from somebody. You may be getting that apology that somebody feels they have to bring to you. You may be reconciling. And it's funny because earlier over here with this deck, with the Spiral Tarot, when I was shuffling, these 2 cards came out, and we have the 6 of Pentacles. So we have the 6 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. And the 6 of Pentacles is showing us a union, and it's I feel like it's a reconciliation. It's something, it could even be like somebody proposing, or somebody proposing something, or taking a step forward to offer this love, to offer this worth, to offer this value to a relationship. So this could be a family member, this could be somebody that you lost connection with, this could be a loved one, this could be a past lover, this could be a friend that you had lost ways with. You know, this can be manifesting in many different ways, but I do feel like as a result of that Taurus energy of wanting to move forward and wanting to like reconcile and to build up that worth and to bring that love through, and to not feel that separation and isolation and loneliness, they're going to be like coming back to offer value through love. So if it was somebody in your life that you created firm boundaries with, and you know what, you lost them as a result of those boundaries, they've had time to look at it and process it, particularly with the energy that we have right now. People are processing things. They're looking at things a little bit deeper. They're recognizing their place in it. They're recognizing their shadow aspect, and we all have a shadow side. So we're recognizing the shadow inside, and we're like, okay, I see what I did wrong here. You know what? I'm going to go back and I'm going to apologize. And I'm going to offer this love. I'm going to offer this cup or these roses or whatever. And I'm going to, you know, tell the person that I see the worth inside of them and that I want to make this offer to them and I want to make things, you know, right. You know, I don't want to be living in this illusion anymore. I don't want to have you going around thinking that I never honored your connection or that whatever. You know, I feel like those types of things are going to be happening. And I do feel like it's on so many different levels. Again, this is for the collective. So this could be, you know, a long lost family member. This could be, you know, people who are in twin flame dynamics. This could be people who just had a romantic soulmate or a friend that was a soulmate. I do feel like there's soul connections. They're not just like people off the street. I do feel like this is your soul family, like the true members of your soul family that deserve or are worthy of a place in your place, you know, like worthy in your life. So pay attention to that. And that came through with this. It came through with the Eight of Swords in reverse. So this, I feel like what this is saying is that in order for this offer or this reconciliation to come through or this recognition of worth, because this could even be yourself recognizing your own worth and making your own offer of love to yourself, filling your own cup up and being like, you know what, like I feel like this is like the I am presence being like, here you go, here's some love, and we're finally like, okay, I'm gonna take it. And again here it's like the I am presence is here to bring forth balance and worth and recognition of the masculine and feminine side, because it's all about bringing forth this balance, particularly those like in romantic ways. For you to bring forth a romantic partner or to have like this cup offered to you in alignment with your worth, you have to see it inside of yourself. You have to make that offer to yourself, and you have to make this divine union of masculine and feminine within yourself, and it is also in alignment with your I am presence. So I feel like all of this is here tying into that. And then we had the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is about being bound up and like tied up, and it's like strife within your mind, and it's doubt and fear and insecurities and all of that darkness coming up. But because it's in reverse, I feel like those things are connected to the past. And those are the things that we were binded by. We were blinded. She has the blindfold on. We weren't seeing it. We weren't really truly seeing things. We were looking at the stuff that happened with these people or these experiences in our lives or even ourselves, and we were like playing the victim mode, or we were feeling that separation, that isolation, that we're not good enough, that things aren't ever going to get better, that this is just a manifestation of what I deserve because I suck, you know, all of those horrible things and those beliefs. But because it's in reverse, I feel like people are recognizing to look beyond the veil, to look beyond the illusion, to look beyond what society thinks, and recognizing that they are worthy of this love, and that they are worthy of like a balanced relationship. They're worthy of somebody coming in and apologizing, or for even yourself to go and apologize to somebody else. You are worthy of that. And when you come from that vibration of love and that vibration of worth, you're going to be met with that by others. So you want to like flip this out, you know, altogether. Stop looking at the past, stop looking at the doubts and the fears, the insecurities, get rid of it, and see the worth that you have in yourself. Unite the masculine and feminine energy inside of you. Unite with your I am presence. Take that love for your I am presence and place that love on yourself. So let's see if there's any other messages that want to come through from the spiral deck, and then we'll move on to the last one, which is the Starseed deck. I wanted to do, you know, a longer reading tonight because I knew there's a lot of messages that wanted to come through. So the first one I just saw on the bottom of the deck is the Sun. And we have the Chariot. So the Sun and the Chariot are good, really good cards. The Sun is all about celebration. And I do feel like with the Chariot, it's that celebration is coming forth. Things are shifting. Things are getting better. Things are... like, we're in this steadfast, moving forward Taurus energy. It may be slow, but it is moving us towards the Sun energy, which is like expansion, enlightenment. It's the High Priestess. It's the, you know, the God, the Goddess. It's that embodiment of what you are truly here to be. It's releasing the illusions, it's releasing the bullshit, you know, it's releasing the stuff that makes you feel like shit. It's releasing that drive to, ego and, you know, like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, like living in a rat race of bullshit and never having time for life, never having time for love, you know, cutting yourself off from that stuff. And I think people who do that are cutting themselves off out of fear of rejection or out of fear of being hurt because of something in the past. So I feel like people are moving beyond that. And this one just fell out. So the Three of Swords is about walking away. So we're walking away from those things. You know, we're walking away from the heartache. We're walking away from the people who brought us that heartache. We're walking away from ourselves, from that version of ourselves that brought heartache. We know that light exists. We, like, you can even see, like, this person over here is sitting in the dark. They're holding on to their heart. They got all the swords here, all the strife, the water, the rain falling over them. And this person is walking away, but they're walking into the light. You know, and 3 is transformation. So they're transforming and they're like, I ain't, you know, buying into this anymore. I'm not going to continue to give my time and energy to something that is going to hurt me or bring darkness into my life. And as a result of that, as a result of them finding that worth and finding that value inside of themselves and taking that charge forward, they're moving towards alignment with that energy of the light. They're going into this place of expansion, like illuminating and shifting the DNA, the cells, the atoms, aligning with the frequencies that are coming in, aligning with this new, like, version of self that doesn't, you know, stay here anymore. They're not feeling the separation and the sadness. They're ready to celebrate. They're ready to move forward. They're ready to accelerate their ascension process. They're rising into the High Priestess. They're rising into the Divine Masculine. They are uniting with the energy inside of themselves, and that is a celebration. And it, again, we need to take that energy and ripple it out towards the collective. We need to walk away from anything that is harming the collective and walk away from anything that is harming ourselves, anything that's causing this. It's time to leave that, time to walk away from that so that we can create new earth, so that we can embody the event. And people who talk about the event, it is already here. You are a part of the event. Your consciousness is a part of the event. The fact that you're awake, the fact that you're tuned in is embodying that energy. So these are, you know, showing you that this is where we're headed. And there are some other messages coming through too, like through the emissaries. So for those out there who, oh shit, I just dropped a whole bunch of cards. Ah. Oh boy. Hold on. Alright, so for those out there, I have a few more who have been struggling, and those who are starseeds, those who are light workers, empaths, there have been like these collective messages coming through. If you have RH negative blood, like, you know, I have AB negative blood, and I've been recognizing, like, especially with the shift in the seasons, that is affecting me more so right now. So if you have RH negative blood, it's, you know, I'll probably do a separate video to go into full description about that, but it does affect you deeper, like the stuff that's going on. If you're not getting enough sun, you need to really get like some vitamin D. And if you are sensitive to right things right now, if you have the ringing in the ears, if you're feeling like discomfort in your body, I'm hearing that we need copper and the essence of rose. So the vibration of rose, like even an essential oil, is going to assist. And the energy of copper is going to assist, because the RH negatives they do have a lot of copper inside of their blood that helps us to be like those antennas. You know, I talk a lot about how basically starseeds, empaths, lightworkers, we're antennas. We're receiving information, downloads of frequency. And if you realize like that if some people know, some people don't, but the RH negatives, like, they're more inclined to be intuitive. They have a lower than normal blood pressure. They have a lower than normal like heartbeat. They, are more sensitive. They make up 15% of the population. AB negative is the rarest. It's 1% of the 15%. And it's said to be like, there's all different stuff. Like, they say it's like the mark of this, or it's the Holy Grail. It's the whatever bloodline. It's connected to the Anunnaki. It's connected to it. There's so many different things and so many different beliefs. But I do know, like, scientifically, what happens is if RH negative and RH positive try to come together, the mother, if the baby is a positive and the mother is a negative, the mother's body rejects it and tries to kill it like it's a foreign thing, like an alien. So it throws out the whole theory of evolution, because RH negative basically means that the rhesus gene is not there, and the rhesus gene is the monkey gene, and we do not have that inside of us if we are RH negative. And we do have different things with the blood. Like, there's like a very low ratio of the RH negatives are affected by certain things, but there are certain things out there that are targeted towards them. All of the royals are RH negative, and you see how they try to keep their bloodlines pure by interbreeding with others. A lot of the presidents have been RH negative, and there's a lot of things that like tie into this, into like the elites who rule everything and control everything. If you go dive deeper into this information, there's a lot out there. Just be aware that not all of it is correct, and again, it is correct in one version, because whatever we create, we believe. Consciousness creates. We are the creators of our reality. So it's okay for you to believe something differently from another person. You don't have to attack them. You don't have to, freak out because they said something that doesn't resonate with you. And I always tell people, take what resonates and leave the rest. So if this information is getting too weird for you, or it doesn't resonate with you, simply walk away. You don't have to freak out. But this is just something that's been coming through. So if you resonate with that information, if you know what I'm talking about, they're wanting for you to increase your connection. You can get organite. They have a lot of copper in the organite. You can also get like different stuff like monatomic gold. You can get different stuff like just even vitamin D. Or getting outside and connecting with nature, that really helps those people with that. And, be mindful of the seasons, because when the sun starts to set early and when it's not hanging out as long, you don't have as many opportunities to connect with it. The sun really, does assist the RH negatives with their depression or their mood, or, being stable. And I do not have one, but I'm going to be working on getting one. There's lamps that you can get that will assist with that, and they'll call it seasonal affective disorder, but basically I feel like it's just a lack of having that light in our lives. So we need to be the ones that are aware of that and bring forth that light in our lives. And so the cards that I dropped, the first one that was on top was the Lovers. So the Lovers energy is coming through, and that is about making a decision. This can also be connected to love, but right now I feel like this is connected to making a decision. And it's making a conscious decision about your energy, about how you're going to move forth with this energy of the Chariot, with the energy of the Sun. Oh, you know what? I was reading the Chariot as it was the Hierophant. That's funny. Alright, well, but the Chariot is about moving forward. I don't know why. I think I was mixing it up a little bit with the Hierophant energy, but that energy is coming through as well. So this is about moving forward and making this decision into the light. You have that decision. If you want to embrace the light, you want to embrace who you truly are, you want to alter your existence here. You want to elevate your consciousness and start figuring things out beyond what the 3D bullshit mainstream media is telling you. Walk away from those who harm you. Have firm boundaries. Unbind yourself. Look through the veil and find this value in yourself and realize that you are worthy of love. Open up to that energy that Spirit's sending to you, that cup that they're offering to you. You know, take it. And in regards to love, I do feel like those who have soulmate connections, those who are open to, you know, finding a new partner or finding somebody who's going to love them, there are going to be unions happening. There are going to be, you know, soulmates coming in. There is new love approaching. There are people who are making offers. You know, it's up to you to honor those offers and to, you know, open yourself up. Don't get caught in the past. You know what I mean? It's time to celebrate you with the worthiness and the love. It's time for you to accept that cup of love and to walk away from anything that's harmed you. If people can't approach you and make like a solid offer or make like some sort of gesture towards you that values you and shows that they see the light in you and that you are the sun and that you know, deserve this type of commitment or you know, communication, then you want to walk away from that. You want to be opened up to this. You want your chariot moving forward in that direction. You don't want your chariot moving forward into something that's going to bind you up, you know, make you, you know, like put a veil over your eyes of like, oh, that's just this, you know, making excuses for bad behavior or making excuses for your own behavior of allowing stuff to happen. So really, it's all about choices in all areas of your life. Making the choice to worthiness, making the choice to love, making the choice of value on who you are and who you're going to allow into your life. And then we have the Tower. So the Tower is coming through because we are having like everything in the old construct is falling away. These new patterns, these new numbers, these new frequencies that are coming in are shifting everything. And it's your decision how you move forward from here. As the Tower crumbles, it's going to crumble away. It's going to take away all of the bullshit. It's going to take away the addictions. It's going to take away the illusions. It's going to bring forth alignment to wanting to have a divine union, not only with somebody outside of you, but with inside of you. This is what it's all about. This union happens within before it happens out exterior. So if you're like wanting somebody in the physical, you need to allow everything to crumble apart, build your physical reality yourself, and build your spiritual, emotional connection inside, value yourself, and then open up to this. And if you've been doing this work, then you might be getting an offer soon. You know, somebody might be like, you know what? I took this veil and this bind off, and I'm ready to move forward and charge forward. I'm going to walk away from the darkness, and I'm going to see your worth. I'm going to bring you that value. I'm going to love you. I'm going to cherish you and honor the light inside of you and the light inside of me. You know, I realize that I'm worthy of a connection of divine love and unconditional love that doesn't come with any expectations or anything that's telling me I have to change this or change that. You know, it's all about just communicating who you are and where you stand, and you know how you're going to build your tower back up. And with have the King of Swords, so I do feel like we are moving into this energy of mastering our thoughts, creating our reality. The master knows how to manifest with their consciousness. They make logical decisions. They tune into the intuitive parts of themselves. They trust themselves. They don't doubt themselves. They know that this is an opportunity to rebuild and to create and to manifest something new. They know how to make an approach that is, you know, a beautiful approach and it's a worthy approach. They're the master. They're the king. They know. They have that inner knowing. They get it, you know, and they recognize the light. They're not afraid of making these commitments and this worth. They are not afraid to walk away from darkness and to use the energies that are here to see beyond the bullshit, to see beyond the veil. And the last card from the spiral deck is the Ten of Cups. So we are leading into this place of like, woohoo, you know. The Ten of Cups is like the happy, it's that happy family. It's coming together and it's manifesting love and union with inside of yourself, union outside of yourself, healing the planet, healing the consciousness, healing the past, healing this now moment that is existing in all moments, healing all of the things that are existing in multiple timelines and multiple frequencies in all planes of existence, fifth dimension and up. You know, this is a celebration of all of that. It's a celebration of your spiritual work. It's a celebration of your emotional work. It's a celebration of your physical body. It's a celebration of the abundance that's here. And it's a celebration of union and love. So this could, again, be connected to you and like a family member. It could be connected to you and somebody like who's going to be going into like an actual like relationship where you decide to be like, okay, I want to do this with just you. You know, I want to make a commitment to you. And this could also be you making a commitment to yourself to honor. You know, like this could be your I am presence being like, all right, divine masculine and divine feminine that exists inside of you is making a commitment to worthiness so that they can raise up the level of love and fill up all of these cups and make an offer to somebody else from this place of fulfillment, from this place of worthiness. So I hope that these messages are making sense, because I know I am bringing through a lot of information and this is a long video, but I knew these messages needed to come out. And so the last deck that I'm going to read from is the Starseed Tarot. And the card that came out earlier while I was shuffling is the Ace of Flames. And so the flames is connected to the energy. And an ace is the new beginnings. So we are happening, like this is happening as, you know, this full moon energy is new beginning. It's new energy. And it's going to be like bringing in that heart energy and that love energy. But it's about self. It's about illuminating yourself, and it's about celebrating yourself, about celebrating your energy. But I do feel like those who have been tired, those who have been sore, those have been feeling like the bullshit, the illusion, the separation, the darkness, the like fears, the insecurities, like that shit's gonna fall to the side as a result of the work that we're doing and as a result of the energies that we're connecting with. Sorry. As a result of all the work that we're doing and all of the energies that we've been connecting with, we are, you know, healing and shifting, and we're going to be having this new beginning of energy inside of us. We're going to be feeling those energetic downloads. We're going to be feeling a connection to spirit, to our I am presence, to the earth. We're going to have more of an awareness. We're going to have more downloads. We're going to have more of our channeling happening. Sorry, my dog is now attacking me because I made too much noise. Hi, Alcyon. And then we have the Three of Flames. So the Three of Flames is, again, it's that time of us, like that Holy Trinity, finding that like transformation of ourselves, honoring ourselves, allowing that divine feminine flow to rise up inside of us, and allowing the masculine to like come in and embody and balance, you know, become the yin to the yang with that. And as a result of that, we enter into alignment with the I am presence. So it's that Holy Trinity of balancing down here and rippling it up there so that we can bring forth all of this like transformation that we needed to bring forth into our lives, so that we're in alignment completely and entirely with who we are, and we're coming out of this Eight of Orbs energy. So the Eight of Orbs is, again, that entanglement, and it is earth energy, and orbs is swords. But in this deck, it's like a very earthy energy. So I do feel like we've been grounded into the earth. We've been sent down deep into the darkness so that we can really look at it. You know, we've been entangled in it. We've had no escaping from it. You know, like me walking around for 2 weeks in physical pain has made me look at a lot of stuff. It's been making me look at ancestral stuff. It's been making me look at stuff that's happened recently. It's been making me look at past relationships. It's been making me look at the people in my life and, like, you know, the patterns and the, you know, setbacks that were resulting from, you know, this place of illusion or this place of darkness. So I do feel like that's shifting. You know, we need to honor it and look at it. If you're entangled into anything in this moment, know that it is going to shift. The new energy's coming in. Stay centered in love. Stay centered in who you are and keep rising. Let me see if there's anything else from this deck that the collective needs to know. At this time, we have the Star. So the Star is about making a wish. So what is your heart telling you? What are you desiring? What is it that you really want? And when you are allowing yourself to look beyond the veil, when you're allowing yourself to go into your heart, what is it that you truly desire? Is it something in the physical, or is it something in the non-physical? And if it's something in the physical, is it connected to ego, or is it connected to love? If it's connected to ego, you need to let go. If it's connected to love, then you want to hold on to that and continue to vibrate towards it, not away from it. And the way that you vibrate towards it is by embodying the same light and energy that you perceive it to be. So if you have somebody up on a pedestal, or if you have some expectation up on a pedestal, you need to raise yourself up to that same level of that pedestal, so that you can emanate out that same vibration and you can like ripple it into your reality. It's a lot easier to connect with something when you're, if you got one thing down here and one thing up here, and this is your perception of it, you're going to keep yourself down here. You're never going to reach it, because every time you come up, it's going to go up. So you need to instead recognize where that vibration is and go, okay, I need to reach here. And then when you get there, you align with it and you merge with it and you mesh with it. And it doesn't matter what it is. It can be, love. It can be a job. It can be, something that you've desired or needed into your life. And it can manifest in different ways. And, just recognizing a vibration or a frequency that you want to be in, because that's sometimes what I do. Like, I don't really attach it to an outcome. I just attach it to a feeling, and knowing like I want to feel good or I want to feel happy, and then the universe delivers things to me that keep me in that vibration, and I bring myself to that vibration through consciously creating, through aligning with my thoughts, through aligning with my feelings. Like, what would that look like? What would that taste like? What would that smell like? How would that feel to be in that vibration that's here? So I go through that process and I bring myself there, and then the universe recognizes it and ripples it to me. So when I'm in that good place, I notice that like people show up and they want a healing, and they may show up for the healing with a gift. So then they give me like a crystal that's emanating the vibration of the frequency that I wanted to be embodying, like this. I can remember the day that this came. I had been pulling out all of my labradorite downstairs, and my friend showed up for her healing with this, and it was a gift. But I was in that energy of the labradorite and wanting to connect with it more. The labradorite is the magician's stone. This helps empaths a lot, and this helps starseeds a lot. It protects you from others' energy so that you can stay centered in your own energy. And again, this is frequency and energy in the physical form. If you look at even like crystals are vibrating very fast. It's not an actual physical thing. It's non-physical. It's just energy. It's just something that's like vibrating so fast that it shows up and you can look at it in its form. And they come in many different forms, in many different ways. And like this, the energy of the unicorn. Again, this was a gift that was given to me because I was in the vibration of, receiving from the universe. And it comes in different ways, and it's about being open to it, recognizing when it shows up. And then after I received this unicorn, it spiraled into the synchronicity of connecting to the unicorn message over and over and over and over. I'm still seeing the unicorn nonstop. So I knew the message needed to be heard. So I looked into what the unicorn means, and it tied into what I was experiencing at that time, and it helped me to shift the level of love and the level of, worth on myself, and recognizing that that's what it is. And now continuing to see it, I'm looking deeper into the meaning of it beyond the, crappy little description that's on Google. I'm going into the description inside, to the magic of it, to the origins of it, to what it actually does entail. And it is connected to worth. It is connected to love. It is connected to yep, you are worthy of more. The unicorn is a mythical creature that, in this day and age, people have the Urban Dictionary. They refer it to a person that is very good in relationships. And I felt after all of the relationships I had been in, that I was only attracting more of those people who were going to hurt me, or I was attracting people who were going to be narcissists and manipulate and use and only want me for one thing. So I was perpetuating behaviors that matched that, and I was bringing in people that were treating me in a way that I was expecting them to treat me. And they may not have been treating me that way, but because I was expecting them to, I was perpetrating that reality. And so now I'm focusing on the reality of this, where the people who come into my life are going to recognize that value and be like, that's a good person. That's a good catch. You know, that's somebody that I put up here. And it's not like an ego thing. I don't want somebody to be like, oh, she's unattainable or she's amazing. I just want somebody to be like, oh, she's worthy of like a date. You know, I'm not going to just put her on my booty call list. I'm not going to just, you know, treat her like shit. I'm going to treat her with respect and love. So that is like, you know, something we need to do when we shift what we want to focus on. And that is just one, you know, for instance. We can do this with many things. Like if you're trying to manifest a place to live, you know, I needed a place to go. I was living in a one little crappy room apartment basement, and I needed a place to go that was going to fit me, my dogs, my dad. And, you know, all of a sudden I had a house presented to me, a beautiful house on the water with 3 bedrooms and another area down in the basement, a huge deck, a beautiful atrium, a place to do my healings, a place to do my recordings. I had everything that I needed plus some, and it was such, you know, an amazing feeling. But it was as a result of knowing and trusting that the universe was going to deliver the perfect opportunity. And that was only as a result of working with this energy and, you know, channeling and realizing that we are the creators of our reality. And if we focus in fear, like your beliefs that others instill into us, because at one point I was living with somebody that had, you know, basically made me believe that I would never be able to find a place to live because I had too many dogs, or I would never find anybody, you know, that I could live with, or anybody that I could afford, or whatever. You know, especially with this work, it's difficult because we never know what we're going to be making or when we're going to be making it, or if we're going to be in a lull. So, you know, instead of being in that vibration, I just trust that the universe is going to bring to me what I need before I need it. And it always does. And it did it with that house, and then it did it again, because when I was in that house, I knew it wasn't going to be like a forever thing. But eventually it did bring me another home, which I'm in now, and it's even better for what I do. So it's all about reaching and attaining what you want, what you desire, what you're trying to attract, and bringing your level of your vibration up to match that. Don't put things up on a pedestal that are unattainable in your world. Raise yourself up to that pedestal and recognize that you are worthy of it. You are worthy of the love. You are worthy of the shifting. You know, this is that message of love. It's time to tune into your heart and to recognize what you really truly deserve, what you need in your world, and who you need in your world. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess. Actually, I think that's the Empress. Yeah, that's the Empress. And the Empress brings in abundance. She's fertile. She's creative. She gives birth to the new. She, you know, this could even be combined with like people being pregnant, giving birth to, you know, new star children or to new crystal babies. Communicating with crystal babies and bringing them the nurturing and the wisdom that you have inside of you. And it's with Ascension. And Ascension is actually the Earth. This is the World card. So these are amazing cards in this deck. Like, this is like the best of the best. So we have that Empress energy. And on the bottom of that other deck, the spiral deck, was the Emperor, but I didn't pull it. So I do feel like masculines are coming into the Emperor energy. Feminines are coming into the Empress energy. And we're ready to ascend. We're ready to shift into the vibration of new earth. It's funny because the dolphins are here, and the dolphins connect with that Sirian consciousness. And the Sirian consciousness has been coming through to tell us to connect and shift the energy of the waters, to bring healing, to bring illumination, to bring down the frequency of new earth. Instead of putting new earth up on some pedestal, recognize that we are existing in new earth now. We are existing within the event now. We are the event. We are creating this new earth. We are doing this through our collective consciousness, and we are, you know, worthy of the abundance. We're worthy of the love. We're worthy of shifting our consciousness and our experiences within this third dimension. And it's time to really understand that, transform things, and move forward into alignment. And as we hit 13333, I am going to disconnect. If you would like to book a reading, you know, you can email me. I have different special offers down below. I'm doing 5 cards for $25 right now. The other things are down in the description. I do automatic writing where I can send you a written thing from the emissaries of light, where other emissaries come in sometimes. I connect with the Sirians, Lyrans, Andromedans, Vegans, Avians, Arcturians. Multiple things come through in those readings. I also do trans channel where I can answer your questions through the form of spoken word in this video format. You can send your questions and I will go into trance and answer them. Or we can do a card reading like this, and depending on how many cards you desire, depends on how long it's going to be. So if it's a 5-card reading, it would be like a maximum of 5 questions, and that's usually like a 20 to 25, maybe 30-minute video. I always end up going over with things. I am trying to increase my level of worth. I do appreciate when people hit the like button or comment, because it helps, you know, other people to find these videos. If you can share these videos, if you're out of the Starseed closet, you know, share. If you resonate with the messages, like and share. And if you would like a reading, you can contact me at divineessential@gmail.com. Divine Essential, there's only one E in there and there's no S at the end. I know a lot of times people send me emails and it never comes. So just be mindful of that. You can copy and paste it from the description. And other than that, I do have some new events coming up if you're in the area. I do have some new stuff that I'm offering. That's in the description as well, the link to the events are on my Facebook page. I am working on getting some other stuff out there. And I will be doing some classes online. So if you're interested in like channeling, if you're interested in learning how to channel or learning how to read cards, or you're just interested in being a part of like the guided meditations or the activations that I deliver, let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in, if you'd like to be a part of it. And other than that, in munay, namaste.